Okay, so it's the next edition of Car Talk, and as you can see, I shaved a bit. I went to go fetch my kids from school, and the first thing my daughter told me is, "Daddy, who took your beard?" So I felt that a nice, clean-shaven look would have been a bit more professional and a bit more accepting in the environment that I'm operating in at the moment. And I couldn't take everything completely off because, as you can see, I have a bit of a round face, so I have to make sure that I still look somewhat attractive. So what I want to talk about today is the fact that so many businesses that start live paycheck to paycheck, they live month to month, and unfortunately one of the byproducts of that is they develop this habit of toe dipping. And when you toe dip, it's a bit difficult the first time because you consider all the consequences and you open the door to that, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes until eventually it becomes a habit. And we all know that habits is what takes you to where you ultimately end up. And in most cases, it's not a good place to be in. So what I'm looking at doing is I'm looking at breaking the cycle, and it's called March 1000. But before we talk about March 1000, let me go 1 month back and talk about February. And February, we have what is called open season. And open season is a process where we start 2 or 3 businesses and sell 50% of those businesses in advance. And what we do with that 50%, or the monies that we get from the 50% that we've sold, we actually put that in a property portfolio to build a form of long-term wealth. And what we then do is, with the businesses that we've now developed, we get it to a point where the investor gets a return on investment within 3 months, and they get to take a bit of a bonus out at the end of the next financial year. So Feb is what we call open season, and then March, and that's where I want to get to. March is the month we call Project March 1000. Someone once asked me, "Lester, how do I make R1 million?" I said, you find the solution to a problem, and you sell it for R1,000, and then you sell it to 1,000 people. So if you can start your business with R1 million and the business is still relatively small, you don't have a huge staff complement, you don't have all sorts of additional building expenses, you can get away with a bill of R1 million for the year to cover all your expenses. So we followed that concept for the month of March, and we said for March 1000 we are signing up 1,000 clients, and that brings in 2.3 million for the year. And 2.3 million for the year is more than enough to cover all our expenses in terms of rental, in terms of staff, in terms of everything that we need paid before the next financial year, with about 60% left over to enjoy as a surplus. So Project March 1000 has officially kicked off. Today is the 2nd of March, and we're already waist deep into the process. And I'm not going to make any appeals because we've already closed the open season. And then the last big month of the year for me is November, and this is in the business context, not in the personal or spiritual context, is November. Every November we have what is called Big November, and in Big November I do all the sales myself in an attempt to prove to my sales guys that I'm still the best salesman in the company. Well, that is one reason. The other reason is it gives me an indication of what is happening on the ground. Why salesmen are saying we can't close this deal. Why the market is where it is. What can we learn from it? What adjustments do we need to make in our strategy to ensure that our conversion rate still stays high? So the 3 big months of the year is Feb, March, and November. So in March, we focus on March 1000. And here I'm challenging all businesses to change your mechanics, to change your thinking, to not focus on making that sustainable amount of money every month. If you can find a way, and I can think of 3 ways off the cuff, which I'm not going to share because I'm going to have to charge you for that. 3 ways to find a way to make enough money in 1 month to cover your full year's expenses. That is a challenge I have to small business owners, big business owners. Make enough money in 1 month to cover you for the year. And all the other monies that you bring in for the rest of the year should be deemed as bonus money. So that is it for us for this week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, so don't go anywhere.